Hi, my name is Annamieka Hops, and this is the Art Friend Show, where every conversation focuses on getting to know the essence of creativity itself. I'd love to invite you as well to join me inside of Art Friend School, where we go deeper into these topics and join in with other art friends around the world. Thanks so much for joining us, and let's get to the show. Welcome to the Art Friend Show. Here's an artist you're gonna love to know. Hi, my name is Annamieka Hops. I'm an artist in Portland, Oregon, and I'm going live 100 days in a row to create this Art Friend Show, which is a talk show, variety show where we get to know each other and make friends with our creativity. I'm gonna have a guest to interview today. Her name is Joan Fonseca, and this is gonna be a fun episode because we've never met. So in the true spirit of the Art Friend Show, we're going to just make friends with each other right here on the call. Okay, I can see Joan Fonseca is viewing it, so I'm going to see if I can invite her in to be our guest. Yes. Hi, Joan. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Will you tell everyone where you live and your full name and a bit of your story?
Okay, I live in Paradise, Orlando, Florida. It's gorgeous here. And I moved here from Chicago.
Oh, wow. So you moved from Chicago to Orlando, Florida. How long ago?
It was in 2004. My mother had just moved back into the state, and I felt I needed to be with family because she was 84.
Yes. So she was 84. So you moved there to be with your mother, and now you relate to it as paradise. I want to hear a bit of your backstory because you used to run a very successful business in a different industry. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. Other than having my own hair salon for 13 years, I left that to go from Philadelphia to Chicago, primarily to work for a major beauty manufacturer, Matrix. I worked for them for 7 years as an educator, which was very, very beneficial to me as far as speaking in public and being used to training and teaching people and also learning how to use the computer. So I took business classes at a local college for that. Oh. And after 7 years, I moved into being a manager for Ulta Beauty. In 2004, Ulta Beauty opened in Florida for the very first time. And so I looked to that as a way of being transferred down here to be with my mom and my two sisters. So I got transferred, and I live very close to Waterford Lakes, Florida, which is where I ended up finally for the last 10 years that I worked for Ulta, and I enjoyed it very much. I left being manager of the second store that opened here in Florida to having some back surgery and then going back to work for 10 years as assistant salon manager, and then finally I was given the opportunity to have my very own assistant if I gave that part up and became an elite stylist. So that's what I did for the last 5 years, which led me to having wonderful gifts given to me at the conference.
Oh, fun. It sounds like you really enjoyed that. And
I did.
How does that,
I did.
How do you use that skill set now, both in making your art and because we're meeting for the first time, right? So I'm getting kind of the overview and I want to get a bit of the detail. But in making your art, as well as, it seems like you are very comfortable talking about and presenting and sharing. So what's that been like for you to take that experience and now turn it into your art career?
I always dabbled in art as far as sketching, things like that, and as a child. And so when you're looking at a hair cut for someone, what's the shape of her face and skull? How can we offset that large nose? Or if you're narrow here, how can we make that look bigger? I mean, it all has to do not only with the shape of the cut, but with the color that you put on it, so on the hair,
Follow.
And
Yeah.
I was a certified colorist, and so I enjoyed that. And then, as you can see from this painting, I love color.
Yeah, let's see more of
So,
your work.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Yeah.
Oh,
I love color. This is called Lighthouse Beach, and the one thing about this is cardboard. These pieces here are fabric. You can see the different fronds. They're all fabric. Some of the clouds are fabric,
cool.
and then lots of texture. So
Very cool.
I started working with fabric and paint.
Amazing.
And I started that not soon after I left Alta. I took some classes just to get started. I don't know if that's going to stay there.
Yeah, I don't want it to fall.
Maybe it doesn't need to.
Yeah.
Okay. But I also paint regular paintings, like my little angel. I did her for Christmas and made some cards from her, so I make cards now. I did some doggy paintings for a dog show that, to benefit the Dog Alliance of Florida. Wow. So I do a little bit of everything as far as painting goes.
Yeah. It seems like you have, there's this incredible whimsical style in your house with your
word.
And then how
do you describe what you do? Well,
yeah,
it's fun. When people say, "What kind of art do you do?" and I'm thinking, "Oh, wait till they see." Fun, colorful, whimsical, some little bit of fantasy. This is one thing I'm doing. It's going to be, of course, the flowers are fabric.
Yeah.
And I put them on top of a painted background. At the St. John's River Fest, I'm doing demos in this. And everybody who wants to do one of these gets the material, which is in these little packets. They're already, the centers and the leaves and the petals are already cut out.
Yeah.
And they get a 6x6 canvas to paint.
Right on. So, yeah, so what are some of the things that you have coming up soon? It sounds like you're really involved locally.
Yes. I'm in two different galleries. I'm in the Avalon Parks Gallery in a beautiful upscale neighborhood. And maybe 45 minutes apart from each other. Then I'm in the Sanford gallery called Park Drive Gallery.
Yeah.
The owner of the Park Drive Gallery has asked me to do demos at the St. John's River Fest. She also has involved me and her other artists in doing an auction on May the 13th for the Rhythm and Brews Fest. So we're going to be in this beautiful air-conditioned pavilion with lots of windows to see Lake Monroe. And we're going to be auctioning our art. So each of the artists that are involved have either about four paintings each. Some have a little bit more depending on size. And we're going to be auctioning our art. So that's a great way of getting to know the VIPs, which are invited to come to this. You have to buy a VIP ticket. What do you get other than seeing art and the opportunity to buy art? You get food and drink and air conditioning, which is
I live in Florida. I'm over here my God, I can't even imagine. We just
have to be out in the heat.
Yeah. So, Joan, what about your, it sounds like you're fully doing this. And so I'm curious because I know you through Sue Hurwitz, who came as a guest on the show. How do you know Sue? What thrills you? What really thrills you about doing shows, making this art, putting yourself out there? And also, is there anything that's currently challenging or frustrating you?
I'm supposed to remember all that?
Okay, too many questions. Okay,
what
thrills you and what's currently frustrating to you?
When you asked me how I got to know Sue.
Okay, go ahead, Lara. Yeah.
So Sue, I met her on Instagram. And then because she was having a show in my area, I asked her, you know, what she was having there, because I was kind of interested in whether I could get involved or not, but it was all too soon. And so she asked whether we could meet, and so we did. And we got to chat, have lunch, and now we keep in touch with each other. And if I need something, she's there, and vice versa.
Yeah.
So it's a good collaboration that we have.
Cool.
What thrills me about my art, just getting to, I love women's faces and figures. So I have done a new series called Circus, which again gives me the opportunity to have something whimsical going on. Bright colors with the outfits, bright colored hair, the tent in the background. It's just, I enjoy doing that. Anything that turns me on is seeing something to create a series from.
Yeah, very cool. Is there anything that's currently like frustrating you or challenging you about putting yourself out there as an artist in this way, or making your work?
Well, money.
Yeah, how so?
That's frustrating because I'm thinking, well, I want to do this, this, and that, and then I want to make prints from them, and that starts with a scan, and I need everything scanned for my website. And then I don't know whether the prices went up since COVID, but I got hit with this $610 bill for 5 pieces of art, 5 pieces of art. And then I wanted prints too. So that's kind of frustrating, but you have to push through it.
Yeah, that was the price of getting them scanned, are you saying? Yeah. Yeah, it's about $100 a piece here in Portland for professional image capture, whether it's a scan or one of those really specialized photographs. Sometimes there's a discount, if there's a bunch of pieces they can run through, but we're looking at $50 to $75 per artwork. Yeah, so that aspect of
but you just have to push through that. Which is more important, what I need for my art or a new pair of shoes?
We all
you just have your priorities in the right place.
Yeah.
And you have to do it. You have to do all that to be able to share. And I love sharing my art.
That's wonderful. Can you show us a little bit more? We're going to wrap up the interview pretty soon, but could we see another piece or two?
I'd have to walk out of the room for a minute.
So if you're just tuning in, this is Joan Fonseca. She lives in Florida, and she's sharing, oh, check it out. Look at that. Okay, I want to hear the story of this one. I'm so glad you went and got this. Yeah.
Okay.
Down a little.
Right here. Okay, this is part of my Funky Hat series.
That's awesome.
She has pink hair, the clothes on her back, her bracelet, everything is handmade. I'm trying to find a place to put my feet.
All good.
So she is wearing a bracelet there on that arm down there. All of the flowers have been made and then first and then put on.
Yeah.
Her clothes are all made from fabric. So this is called Coming Up Roses.
Cool. I love it so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And then the other one is a painting. It's called The Spirit of Maryland.
Oh.
Now, I could have picked one of the iconic poses, but I just fell in love with this sort of very casual, not so ladylike pose.
Mm-hmm.
But that was Maryland, you know. And the background, I just love bright colors, as you know. So
Yeah.
I did.
That's so cool that you chose to try and paint something that speaks to more of how you see her spirit.
Yes. So I have two paintings of her that I've done.
Huh?
One's just the portrait of her.
Yeah.
So I have that. But then after doing this particular painting, I took that background and I put it on the original painting of her portrait.
Oh.
So I could start a series, or I was even thinking of making pillows with the background. That bright peach with the bright flowers.
Yeah. It seems like you have you're very fluent in, like, you know, oh, let's use fabric as part of the painting. Let's use the painting to make fabric. Let's look at hair and color. Like, you're very fluent with the way that you create, and that comes across as a strength. It's really fun to see.
Good.
Yeah.
Instead of the blonde.
What?
Instead of my husband, he calls me the dizzy blonde.
Ah, come on.
What does an engineer mind know? They just think in numbers.
Well, it seems to me like, I mean, I don't want to really go down the rabbit hole of how much I can't stand the ditzy blonde comment, but you don't seem like you have any trouble with your empowerment in terms of your art and your voice and your idea expressing, and I think that is really cool to see.
Yeah. Yes, I've come a long way.
Yeah. It's really cool to meet you. Do you have a mailing list, or can people follow along on Instagram if they want to see more?
Go to Joan Fonseca's art on Instagram. I would love everybody to follow me there. But not only that, to sign up at my website, because that's where I don't necessarily put everything on Instagram.
Yeah.
And I have all my new stuff on Joan Fonseca's, no, that's not it. Joan's Art Suite, SUITE, at artstorefronts.com.
Okay, cool. Is there a link in your Instagram?
There's a link in my Instagram. How about that?
That sounds great. You got this.
Make it convenient. Yeah.
Okay,
so they should show up.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming on the Art Friend Show and sharing with us. And I hope you have a wonderful series of events coming up. And
I'm looking forward to it.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
I'd love to have you inside of Art Friend School, where we go deeper into these topics. Follow the link that's in the show notes or find it on my website at annamieka.com.